Probably thinking, okay, James doesn't do a Dallas after show on video. I am mostly an audio podcast, but because of the importance of today, April 2nd, 2023, I'm doing both. And of course, I want to show my brothers J.R. Ewing, Ari Hagman doll. I love it. I love it. We love it. We love it. I mean, the show brought us a character that is so iconic that other characters are compared to him on other soaps. J.R. Ewing, played by the late, delicious character played by the late Larry Hagman. April 2nd, 1978. I was there and I watched it live, a new show called Dallas. And I think another show we talked about. I mean, I've been doing this after show now off and on for about 3 years. About 3 years now. And most of you know the history of it, of course. That it was actually Knots Landing was written first, but they went something more punchier, and then Dallas came. And Dallas came in the form of singular episodes, a few, not a full season, like a full 22 episode season, a little season, and introduced all these characters to us. And the moment I saw JR, it opens with Bobby and Pam going back to the Ewing Ranch, but when the moment I saw JR, I just he and I knew Larry Hagman, of course, from I Dream of Jeannie. So I was like, oh, okay. I just was drawn to the character. Today marks the 45th anniversary of when Dallas debuted. So he's younger than me. I'll be 54 next month. So I'm like, okay, that's interesting. And I personally want to thank everyone who listens to our podcast is a big hit for us audio. And I want to thank everyone in the audio space. And I met many of you in the audio space. Thank you so much. Right now, I'm caretaking, or I should say, caregiving my mother. So I'm not able to do enough shows like I used to. I just put out a recent episode less than a week ago. But I'm not able to do as much right now. I'm trying to get her settled, her care settled, and she gets better. I'll be able to do more. But right now, it's been sporadic. But I knew today I had to find. I mean, for April 2nd, I had to find a way. I mean, this is 45 years of this legacy of a show that just had the largest audience on television at one point for Who Shot JR and the revelation of Who Shot JR. It had one of the largest audiences. It transcended the globe, became a phenomenon with numbers that just don't even happen anymore. I mean, television back then was a different time period, right? It was like few channels, cable was new. It just wasn't. We didn't have social media. It was a whole different thing. Well, the show inspired a lot of daytime TV too, with Texas and a few other shows that try, the Buchanans on Life to Live. It was a lot. Because it had this. It wasn't just Southern charm; it was Texas charm. That was something different. The South is not all the same. I've been to many states in the South, and every state has its own way. And Texas is its own place, for good or bad or different or whatever. It is its own place. Um, so it gave us this Dallas/Texas aesthetic that we just hadn't seen before. These weren't hillbillies. They weren't just ranchers. They were business people. They were lovers. They were dancers. They were. I mean, it was oil was king. That was the thing. But we had senators on there and politics, and it showed us all the stuff. The love, the fights, the melodrama. It was a usherer, if that's a word. It ushered in this new era of soap. If you haven't heard the story about Dynasty, it originally was called Oil. It's funny. They changed it to Carrington, the whole Dynasty thing and all that, the Carringtons and the Colbys and all that. But there's them. I mean, you can see all the traces of the other soaps that followed after this one. For glitz and glamour. I mean, even in soaps like Flamingo Road and those ones that didn't last that long. Jackie Collins novels. There were a lot of things that came out. I just feel like Dallas had an influence over it. I always said that even the show Empire was Dallas-esque in some ways. The show was on Fox. There are other shows. There's one called there's shows. There's a couple shows that came out recently that didn't last, but they all had Dallas-esque stories. On the soap operas, when you say great villains or anti-heroes, J.R. Ewing is at the top of them. I mean, probably Luke Spencer is probably next from General Hospital, and then there's a few others. But this, he set the standard, and what's really great about it, he was known as a really nice guy in real life, Larry Hagman. So that was kind of great. But this tension with brothers, the tension with cheating and wives and grandchildren and children and business, and yeah, they were a little outlandish in some of the later seasons. But that's what soaps do. The fashions. There was a lot of the boots and the 10-gallon hats, and Dallas had an influence on so much. And it came out at the right time. I had higher hopes for the reboot. You know how I feel about that. You missed that episode about the reboot. But I'm not going to trash it today because I'm celebrating the entity that is Dallas. Dallas was also talked about to be a movie at one point with John Travolta and Jennifer Lopez. I remember that was something. Um, I wouldn't mind seeing Dallas continue at some point. My brother and I have talked about this many times. My brother JR and I, his name is JR. He's also a Dallas fan. I wouldn't mind a reboot, a continuation, a movie, something. I wouldn't mind something. Um, Come out. I feel like Dallas is a brand that can continue on some level. How you feel at home about this? Like it continue. It could if done well. Again, the TNT cast. I actually like the cast. The cast was well put together. So kudos on the casting. But the stories, there's endless possibilities. There's so much they could do. If they greenlit one for me, I'd write a Dallas spinoff of some sort or spinoffs. I'd write a spinoff or something. Give me the rights. Give me the money and the rights. I'll do one. But there's so much history to mine from Dallas. There's so many, we got 13 seasons, 3 of the other one, movies, a legacy. So happy anniversary, Dallas, and David Jacobs, who created it. Thank you so much for bringing us something that enriched my life growing up into my adulthood. And I write audio dramas, and I had a soap opera on my channel. I mean, I do stuff because I was a fan of Dallas. So thank you so much. And thanks for Knots Landing. Also, I'll give you that. Thanks for Knots Landing also. And everyone, again, you can find a Dallas After Show on JLJ Media everywhere on all the social media platforms. You can find it on all the different various audio platforms. And again, thanks for making it a big hit for us. You guys continuously show it every week. And I'm committed to giving you new episodes when I'm able to. But thank you so much. And I'm James Lott Jr., and I'll see you next time.